Hey, everybody. The Miami Dolphins have scored 30 points 4 games in a row. How are the 49ers going to slow them down today? We're going to discuss that and much more on the 49ers pregame show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Levi Stadium, where today the San Francisco 49ers will look to extend their longest winning streak since 2019 to 5 in a row and improve to 8-4 on the season when they take on the Miami Dolphins later on today in about 2 hours from now. This is a homecoming of sorts for many of the Dolphins players and coaches, including Mike McDaniel, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., also River Craycraft, Trent Sherfield among the players, John Embry, Wes Welker among some of the coaches. The Dolphins come into this game with an 8-3 record following their 30-15 victory against the Houston Texans last week. Miami is riding a win streak of their own. They've won 4 straight, and they've scored at least 30 points in the process. So here are the 5 things that I put down that I think we need to take a watch for today during the game. As I mentioned, we are going to I'll give you some of the tips as to how I think this 49ers defense has an advantage in this game against the Miami Dolphins. Really quick before I get into it, I want to shout out Alan Eliza over in the comment section. He says, it's game day, go Niners. Hello to you and all the faithful. Hello, Alan. Good to have you on board. Let's get this thing rolling. Number one, that we're going to start off. We're going to do 49ers offense, then we'll do defense, and then there's one additional one after that. And the first one is, can Jimmy Garoppolo get this offense into the end zone? The 49ers offense has been able to move the ball up and down the field. They haven't had any problem moving the ball, but the issue for them is that they've struggled once they've got down into the red zone, especially that deep red zone. San Francisco is currently in the middle of the pack in red zone touchdown percentage. And with Garoppolo under center, the 49ers have averaged 30 points per game against their NFC West opponents. That's pretty good, but then that drops down to under 20, only 19.8 against the rest of the league that they've played so far. San Francisco has been successful, though, against former Shanahan colleagues when Jimmy Garoppolo has been at quarterback. In 13 starts against Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur, Garoppolo has led the 49ers to an 11-2 record. That's a big piece of this puzzle today. We're going to get into Shanahan in a little bit, but with this offense, they have got to be able to put points on the board. And that's really a big piece of that is what they do in the red zone. Rohan, how are you doing? I see you over there. It says, morning, Jack. Rohan, hope you are doing well out in Madison. Hopefully it's not too cold for you out there in Wisconsin. But talking about, the need to put points on the board, a lot of that comes back to the 49ers running game. And that's my second topic second key for the game today when he looks at the 49ers offense is their ability to get the run game going. You look at the 49ers rushing attack, and it's been inconsistent. They're averaging only 4.4 yards per attempt this season. It's in the bottom half of the league. You have Elijah Mitchell going down with the MCL strain early in the second half last week against New Orleans. He's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So Mitchell's injury means that you're going to see more of Jordan Mason and Ty Davis-Price. Those rookies are going to need to step up. There might even be a Tevin Coleman sighting as well, but I did not see his name listed as a call-up yesterday. And since he is on the practice squad, I think the 49ers running game today is going to come down to Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Ty Davis-Price. Davis-Price only has a couple of carries since week 2. He had a bunch of carries in that week 2 game, only 2 since then. He's been inactive since week 7. He's a physical runner, and he gives the 49ers a back capable of picking up those tough yards in between the tackles, especially down in the red zone area where they're struggling right now. And then you have Jordan Mason. Everybody knows who Jordan Mason is. He's the darling of the 49ers running back room. He was the preseason darling, did so well during the preseason games, looked really good in training camp, but he hasn't had much run in the game. But he finally had his first extended opportunity come in the fourth quarter last week against New Orleans. With Mitchell out and Christian McCaffrey nursing a sore knee, Mason stepped in with 4 carries to help close out the game. You watch Mason, the thing for me is he has really good vision. He really fits what the 49ers do in their zone running scheme. I think Mason is a prototypical Shanahan running back. He has good vision, and he has that ability to see the hole, cut, and he's gone. He's just a really quick one-cut acceleration. for me, the thing that it comes down to with the running backs, though, is what's happening in front of them, and it's that offensive line. And this is one of the main reasons I think San Francisco struggled to get touchdowns down in the red zone, especially in the 5 and in, is their offensive line has struggles to generate any kind of push at the line of scrimmage. In particular, when they're running their gap schemes. Those gap schemes are more power type schemes. It's more man-on-man, got to push that guy away. They struggle on that. They're much better when they're running their zone scheme. And the reason for that is because when you're running the zone, you're getting the defense moving. And so by getting that defense moving, you're already getting the defenders sliding, and that allows those offensive linemen to really use the momentum of the defender against them. And then the back just needs to find the right hole and cut to the right spot. And that's where Jordan Mason really, really helps them. But the issue that creates is it's really hard to run zone when you're down in that deep red zone when teams are running their goal line package, because they are filling up all those gaps, and you can't really just let guys go. So I think that's the two things for the 49ers today. Jimmy Garoppolo continuing his hot streak against former Shanahan assistants, and then also this run game becoming consistent and be able to do something down in that red zone. Another item that I saw that I didn't put here, but it goes back to the Jimmy Garoppolo piece, is the Miami Dolphins are not very good when it comes to coverage in that middle third of the field in that 10 to 19 yard range, that intermediate area. They give up, I think they're 28th best in the league or somewhere around there in terms of defending that area. And we all know exactly where Jimmy Garoppolo likes to work, and it's in that 10 to 19 yards between in the middle of the field, that middle third. That's the key for the 49ers. And we're going to get into that here a little bit. Boy asks, how is the weather? The weather was nice and sunny a few minutes ago. The clouds came over. We had a little bit of sprinkles, but for the most part, it's pretty nice. I don't think we're going to have, according to the weather on my iPhone, that it's not supposed to rain this afternoon. It wasn't even supposed to be really raining right now. So if we get these little spits like this, it's going to be fine. I don't see it being an issue. I don't think we're going to have any kind of heavy rain to deal with at all. It's going to be a nice fall day in Santa Clara. Swapping over to the defensive side, I think this is the key. And I just talked a little bit about how the 49ers, we know they like to attack the middle of the defense and how the Dolphins have struggled in that area. That is a big key for the 49ers today against the Miami Dolphins. We all know that the Dolphins have Tyreek Hill, they have Jalen Waddle, they have all this speed all over the field. But the 49ers' ability to take away the intermediate middle of the field is going to be crucial to stopping the Dolphins' passing attack. Tua Tagovailoa is having a career renaissance under the tutelage of Mike McDaniel this year. But a big portion of his success this year has been his ability to hit throws in that middle area. Hitting those guys like Hill and Waddle in stride has led to many explosive plays for the Miami Dolphins. It's not those deep shots down the sideline, those types of things. For the most part, they're living in that same area that the 49ers do. Kyle Shanahan mentioned this on Wednesday. He said they have so much speed that they blow the top off stuff, which gets people open underneath. Tua, to me, is the reason they're leading the league in explosive, because he knows how to hit people over the middle. It's rarely deep. It's usually running and hitting those guys on the move, and there's some really open space with all that speed. And then the quarterback who can drop it over linebackers, who's not worried about safeties and is doing that part of the game as high as anyone I've seen right now. And so that's the key, and that's where, again, I think for the 49ers, they're uniquely prepared to do this. You look at what Tagovailoa has done. He's completed 38 passes in the middle of the field at a depth of 10 to 19 yards. This is according to NFL Next Gen Stats. That's 16 more than any other quarterback. The Niners defense, though, with Fred Warner, they're ready for this, I think. Fred Warner is one of the best linebackers in the NFL, especially in coverage. You also have Dre Greenlaw there to help. And since adding Fred Warner in 2018, no team has been better at taking away that intermediate middle area of the field than the 49ers. Over that time, San Francisco has allowed only 71 completions, 15 fewer than any other defense. So I think the 49ers, if they can take away those quick intermediate throws, that's going to be the key. I know the focus has been on the Dolphins not having their starting left tackle and right tackle, and Nick Bosa and Eric being able to work, and Eric Armstead and all those types of things. But I think really their key today is to be able to take that middle of the field away. And then if they can get Miami into third and long, that's where the pass rush comes into play. But it's not going to be in first and second down. It's going to be, they've got to be able to cover their asses off in the middle of the field if they're going to win this game. Let me see if I have any questions before I go on. No. The second one, the fourth one, the second one on the defense is, can San Francisco's defense take away their former teammates? Now, I know there's a lot of discussion about Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. and the how they changed the Dolphins running game. That's not really happened. I looked at the numbers, and since Jeff Wilson Jr. joined the Dolphins are averaging 4.0 yards per carry. The Dolphins on the season average 4.0 yards per carry. For me, what I think the 49ers need to do in this game is they just need to really stay disciplined. They need to take away those explosive runs. The 49ers defense has allowed only 3.3 yards per carry this season, so they've done a really good job at limiting big plays on the ground. They're the best in the NFL, like I said, at 3.3. And it looks like Eric Armstead's going to be returning today, which should help that defensive line out, especially on those runs. With Wilson and Mostert, what I see the same thing that we saw when they were here in San Francisco, is that they don't generate consistent yardage. They're not guys that are going to pick up 7, 8, 6, 5, 6, like generate consistent yardage like that. Really, like Elijah Mitchell was able to do, right? Elijah Mitchell, what he was so good with the 49ers was he was able to pick up 5 to 6 to 7 yards pretty much every time he touched the ball. When you watch Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr., they don't do that. So their yardage, their average is pumped up because they usually can break off a big run. Well, the 49ers today can stop those guys from getting explosive gash runs. The 49ers defense is going to be in really good position. And like I said, Miami's already without Austin Jackson. He's already been ruled out. We're going to find out here in about 5 minutes about Teron Armstead. He's listed as doubtful. I think that's advantage for 49ers. I think the 49ers defense in this game is going to be really good. They keep bringing up the issues that they had with the explosives against Kansas City. This is a different deal. Tua Tagovailoa isn't a deep ball thrower like Patrick Mahomes. He can throw the ball down the field. He can make those plays, but the explosive plays for the Dolphins are the same type of explosive plays you see from the 49ers. They're catch and run. Hit those guys in stride and let them run. And then my last key, and this is really something we need to keep on, but this is something everybody's been talking about all season long. The teacher or the people. Everybody's been talking about the genius of Mike McDaniel. The 49ers issues have been because of Mike McDaniel going to Miami. Forget the fact that Miami's scoring basically the same amount of points as they scored in 2020 when Shane Haley was their offensive coordinator. Forget about all that stuff. But McDaniel supposedly is the genius, and that's why Shanahan's offense has struggled. I think it has more to do with the offensive line changes, leading to some issues, like I said in the run game earlier on. McDaniel, though, he took what he learned, added his own unique style. If you watch Mike McDaniel talk in a press conference, there's definitely a uniqueness to him. There's one thing that McDaniel shows that has proven is that you have to be able to communicate and relate to players. He does a great job of that. You see tons of videos, countless videos on Mike McDaniel talking to Dolphins players on the sidelines, and they just sound like you and me talking on the screen here. And the Dolphins are among the top teams of the league, so you can't fault McDaniel for that. But when you look at what Kyle Shanahan has done against his former assistants, he's dominated. Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, he's faced them 19 times. Well, his record is only 12-7. Again, a lot of that goes back to the quarterbacks that he had, because when Jimmy Garoppolo was a quarterback, in those 13 contests with Shanahan, they are 11-2. I mentioned that earlier. 12-7 overall, but when Jimmy Garoppolo was out there, they take it too, for the most part, to those assistant coaches. And this is going to be an interesting one. So I look at this game today, and I think I said early on, I'm not very. If you watch me enough, you know that I don't usually come out and just say on Monday of the week that the 49ers are going to win a game. Sorry about it's probably this thing banging on my face. Let me move it a little bit. Oh, my jacket, actually. Let me do this. Hold on. The thing with the 49ers for today, I think they are going to be able to take it to the Miami Dolphins on defense. That's the reason why I came out on Monday and said the 49ers were going to win today. This is the 49ers defense that has all the things that causes Miami trouble. And other than a second half collapse by the Baltimore Ravens, really good defense defenses have done a good job against this Miami offense. So for me, Alan wants to know if I have a score prediction for today. Absolutely, Alan. I always end this with my score prediction. For me, it's going to be 49ers 23, Miami Dolphins 16. Dolphins have been held into that range a few times this season. Again, I think this 49ers defense is pretty darn solid, and I think they're going to be able to take it to the Miami Dolphins, hold them down to 16, eliminate those explosive plays, force Miami to have to work the ball down the field, and then make plays down in the red zone like they've done so often. So there you have it. My 5 keys for the game again: Jimmy Garoppolo's ability to complete passes over the middle, hit his guys in stride, his success against previous Shanahan opponents. The 49ers need to be able to get their run game going. These 2 rookie backs that they're going to have, along with Christian McCaffrey, need to step up and make some positive plays happen today. On defense, take away the middle of the field. That's where Tua Tagovailoa pretty much lives. Take away that middle area. As my co-host on the Hammer Nail show said on Tuesday, Eric Armstead's return could have a big aspect of that because of his height. Tua's not the tallest guy. If he can get his hands up, maybe knock a pass or 2 away, that'll help out as well. And then just keep the explosive plays in the run game to a minimum. So, and I think the 49ers can do all of this. And they can come out today with a 23-16 victory and show where they are. I think the 49ers have been a pretty darn good team, but I do understand some folks have questioned where they are in terms of their record being at 7-4. Big game today for the 49ers, 23-14 over the Miami Dolphins. Hope you enjoy the day. I've got to get into the stadium. I'm a little late getting in because of some issues on my way in. But thanks all for joining. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button on your way out. If you're watching the show and you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Follow 49ers.pressdemocrat.com throughout the game today for live updates. And last but not least, follow me after. We'll be back for a post-game wrap-up. Really quick, one last one, Jack. My big guy Moses says, what's up? You think this game will tell a lot how Lenore will hold up? I think we know how Lenore's going to hold up. He's going to struggle at times a little bit of the 49ers DBs. He's obviously the weaker link of that group, but I think he's going to be fine. I think you go back to the big explosive plays that Kansas City had. They weren't on Deommodore Lenore. Those were against Jimmy Ward and Charvarius Ward. So I think Lenore's going to be fine. So if you need a game to tell you what the 49ers have in Deommodore Lenore, don't have a problem with that. I think he's going to have a good one. Moses, enjoy your day. Everybody else, enjoy your day. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me over at 49ers.pressdemocrat.com. I'm going to be going inside and getting the live blog started up here in about 10 minutes. Take everybody. Talk to you soon. Be back later.